Hey guys! Today we're going to be making miniature donuts, which might seem like one of the most basic types of miniature food you can make, and it kinda is, but I think it's mean to exclude some foods just because they're simple and don't have a lot of detail, and donuts are yummy, so that's what we're making. This was technically supposed to be posted last week, and because I didn't post one this past week, I am going to be posting 2 videos this week. I want it to be something that is kind of bakery themed, so some type of cake or pastry. I haven't decided on which one to make yet, so if you have any suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Anyway, enough with the rambling, let's get started. You want to start off with a nice light yellow tone dough color, then take a small piece and flatten it slightly. I first did this to one side, then flipped the donut around and did it to the other side as well. Then for the texture on the outside, I first used a pointy dotting tool to make a line all the way around, and it's okay if this is a bit wobbly. I then used a needle tool to make some more defined lines, and I'm basically imagining one line going all the way around, and then sometimes it splits into 2, then gathers at one point, splits into 2 again, and so on. Then to add even more texture to this very non-textured piece of food, I used some crumpled up tinfoil to give some more organic texture, and I only did this in a few spots. And then lastly, I just used a soft toothbrush to add some texture all the way around. And then after pre-baking, you should have something like this. Now, if you want to make one that has a bite taken out of it, it's very simple. Just take your X-Acto knife and cut off some clay. And then use a fine needle tool to add some texture to the inside. And you want to try to keep the texture on the inside pretty fine, because otherwise it's going to look too exaggerated compared to the size of the donut. And because the missing bite is going to make the inside of the hole more visible, that doesn't sound dirty at all, you want to make sure to add some texture to this part as well. Now for the shading, I'm for once not starting off with soft pastels, instead I'm using acrylic paint. I find that the raw sienna by Winsor & Newton has a really nice color for baked goods, although I do find the color is a bit too bright or vibrant and a bit too orangey for my liking. The colors do look a bit more dull in the video, so it does look a bit more acceptable, but in real life it's just a bit too bright. Another thing with most of the Galleria paints by Winsor & Newton is that they do get darker as they dry, so you want to make sure to not add too much shading at once. And as for the color being a bit too vibrant or bright, you can of course mix it with other colors and build up all the shading this way. For me personally though, for this project I chose to use the paint first and then add some soft pastel on top to tone down the color just a bit. I'm purposely making the paint shading look a bit blotchy. This is not going to be very visible on the end result, but it is going to add some more interest to a very non-detailed item. If you have any questions about the tools and materials I use in my videos, I do have a video about it on this channel. And if you have any questions about baking and pre-baking, I always link my video about it in the info box. And of course, as always, if you have any requests or suggestions for food you'd like to see videos on this channel, feel free to leave them in the comments, and if you have any requests for non-food, please leave it on my main channel. And as for the pastel, I'm applying it with a damp brush. If you're only using the paint for the shading and you're using this for a miniature, not for a jewelry piece, you don't necessarily have to add any glaze on top, but because I did use a pastel, I just added some matte glaze to protect it. Next up, we're going to be making some icing, and for this I used Fimo Deco Gel and mixed it with normal clay, and I then added soft pastels for the colors. The reason why I chose to use Fimo Deco Gel rather than TLS is because it has more of a sheen when baked. Obviously, if you prefer the look of TLS, you can definitely use that as well, or if you only have TLS, you can also just add some glaze on top to get the look you want. Unfortunately, I can't tell you the exact color names for the pastels I used for the icing because they came from my set of 60 half sticks from Rembrandt, but they're just a basic white, pink and brown, so it's nothing special. Personally, when applying icing like this, I prefer using a brush rather than something like a needle tool. I just like how the bristles allow for more smooth application, but if you prefer using a needle tool or a toothpick, you can definitely do that as well. I chose to keep the design for these donuts pretty simple, or I guess almost plain looking, and the reason why is because I just don't personally like when donuts have very vibrant colorful frosting such as green, blue or bright pink. I just don't think it looks as delicious as those you could think of as being normal strawberry, chocolate or vanilla. To make a sugar-coated donut, I just applied some Fimo Deco Gel and then dipped it into white craft sand. For the toppings, I again just kept it pretty simple. I first mixed a couple of tan colors to get a mixture for the nuts. I then pre-baked this and chopped it up. And I did the same with a mix of white and translucent to make some coconut shavings. Then just sprinkle this on top and bake again. After baking, you do want to seal the sugar-coated donut with glaze, but it's pretty much optional if you want to apply glaze to the other ones. Mostly I would probably just do this if I wanted to achieve a different effect, such as a more glossy appearance or a more matte appearance. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and want to see more, definitely give the video a thumbs up, it really helps out the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.